Mic check, mic check. Welcome, guys. Welcome. Happy Monday. Cheers, my friend. Let's have a vape. You guys know. You know the setup. We getting big or what? We're getting there. The shoulders are coming back a bit. Arms are coming back. We're getting there. Still kind of. We're still a little plump. By summer, we're gonna be looking good, guys. We're gonna be looking good by summer. What's going on? Welcome to live mixing. Mondays, 12 p.m. and Wednesdays, even though we haven't done a Wednesday show. We will be doing Wednesday this week, so be ready for the Wednesday show. Okay, so today's episode, if you don't remember last week, we were mixing a raspberry lemon yogurt, and we got a really nice recipe out of it. But I figured let's live mixing, we usually just make something new every week. Let's try to finish this recipe and get it to a place where I can call it a real released recipe. I think that would be fun, and it'll kind of give you an understanding of at least how I do, how I go to completion with the recipe. I've done this before, I've talked about this before, but we haven't done it in a while, so we're going to do that this episode. Do I have any things that I need to discuss before we get into the episode? I don't think so. I think we should just get right into the fun stuff. The other thing we did last week was, if you didn't watch last week, just you go back and watch it. It's a good episode. Any questions you guys have, just throw them in the chat. You can throw them on the Facebook group. One thing I do like to do is let's see if there's any questions on the Facebook group. I haven't looked. Been a bit busy. However, let's take a look now. Let's see if there's any questions here. If you guys have any questions at all, the Facebook group is a great place to drop them off. Here, let me put this in the chat. This is our little group here. Boom. Join it. If you're not a member, you need to be accepted. Just make sure you answer the questions. That's how we weed out the bots and the scammers. And feel free. Feel free. Let's check this out. This is interesting. This is an interesting post here from David Haney. David Haney. This is interesting. At least from the title, it's interesting. This reads, after 20 years of DIY vaping, I've gone flavorless and I'm loving it. I've been mixing my own juice for over 2 decades. 2 decades? No. There's no way. Is it really? There's no way. 2 decades would be what? 2005? There's no way. Maybe he meant near 2 decades. I mean, we're getting close to 2 decades, but I wouldn't say 2 decades. 2005, that's pretty early. I don't know, maybe he was. I could be wrong. Because that's right around when vaping really started to kind of become, people started to actually see them, I would say. It's 2005. I don't know. I feel like that's pretty early, but however, nonetheless, I won't question you. Sure, 2 decades, sure. What started as a way to quit smoking turned into something that helped me breathe better, feel better, and just live better overall. Quick backstory, I started smoking at 13, quit around 30, and am now 52. Last year, something shifted. After 20 years of chasing flavors, I hit a wall. Nothing tasted exciting anymore. I even considered trying to make my own e-nick gum or lozenges just for a change. And in the end, though, I decided to try something radically simple. Naked vape. No flavors, no sweeteners, just Nick, VG, PG. And surprisingly, I haven't looked back. This is not uncommon. I know a few people have done this. To this day, I'm still vaping flavorless juice. I don't know exactly what it is, but there's something incredibly clean and satisfying about it. It's just like my palate reset. What used to be a flavor chase turned into something that feels almost meditative. Don't get me wrong, I used to love blueberry donut, caramel cookie, RY4, lemon head, and all the incredible mixes folks come up with. But now, with just the right nick, going flavorless just hits different. Curious if anyone here has tried ditching the flavors. DIY.vaping rounds. I like this little post here. This is interesting. You get an upvote, sir. Updoot to you, good sir. Updoots to you, sir. I do flavorless for hunting and fishing. Interesting. Is that to not attract anything? Or to not disperse anything? About 2 years I couldn't figure out what to make. I just made a small batch of flavors. Been vaping flavorless ever since. Yeah, so this is not uncommon. I know personally a few people that have done this. I've done it myself. Not that I've switched to flavorless vaping. I've tried vaping flavorless. And it's just not quite the same for me. To me, these are my flavorless. This is my flavorless, to be honest. When I need just like a break from vaping, I just pop one of those in. If I need nicotine, I've this has lasted me almost 2 weeks now. This is like, I was using them a lot more until I had those stomach issues, and then I've pretty much cut them out, and then I started popping them again every so often. But like that flavorless vape to me is just a little bit too, it's just not satisfying enough. Possibly it could just be like, I should just up the additive in there, and that could possibly kind of get me to where it's possibly somewhat satisfying, but I don't know. I feel like I would rather go zero nick with flavoring rather than just going zero flavor with nick. That's kind of, I personally would go that route rather than having no flavor. Most of the reason I do this is for the flavor. No, that's not necessarily true. I wouldn't say that. Most of the reason I do this is for the nicotine. However, the flavor is such a vital thing for me to have that satisfying like experience. Otherwise, I would just keep doing it. I feel like, you know what I mean? Like I just wouldn't stop. Which, yeah, that to each their own. But this is not uncommon. If you guys haven't tried it, give it a go. Just mix up some base with a little bit of additive in there. Maybe go a little bit higher than what you normally would to start. Like if you're normally at 3, maybe try like 5 or 6 just to kind of, just because I do think having that flavor there adds that extra level of satisfaction that you're not going to get. So maybe you just need to like up that level a little bit more. So maybe try that out. But yeah, this is not uncommon. Some people really do well with that, which is awesome. Because listen, if you cut the flavoring out, all right, here is what like actually let's do it this way. Here is like the amount let's do it this way. Here is the damage a cigarette gives you, right? If you smoke cigarettes, this is the damage. 100% damage, right? There's nothing redeeming about smoking a cigarette. It's just pure damage to your body. Just for the nicotine, which is kind of why we do it, right? So you have all this damage for that little bit of nicotine. Not a very good ratio there, right? It's not compelling enough to continue to do that if you care about your health and your long-term lung function. If you don't care about that stuff, then it doesn't matter. But if you do, this is the cigarette, right? This is a vape, right? So if you have like a vape from here to here, this is the damage that is going to be occurred on your body over time, comparative to the cigarette, right? I mean, it's like 95% safer. We've seen the studies, yada, yada. However, of this little portion, right, most of the damage here is from the flavorings. So if you were to cut that flavoring out, you are virtually just consuming nicotine, and there's almost no damage there. The only other issue that you need to worry about is the actual carrier, the VG and the PG, which we don't have any evidence for being any more or less damaging than inhaling regular street air, right? We just don't have that information, and everything that has come out about it, it seems to be that the only time it's ever damaging is when there are flavoring compounds in that base because they react differently with each other. Just by themselves, there's no, you're cutting out literally 99.9999999% of any damage that you could occur or that you could accrue over time. So if you do that, that is the ultimate way to sort of consume additive. It just is. There isn't a better way to do it. Maybe gums would be the least damaging of them all, but then you kind of have to worry about your stomach, like with the pouches, right? It's very, very, it's definitely an option that some people might consider, which is interesting. So good for you, David. Hopefully you stick on to your vape and you don't go back to smoking, which I assume is probably long gone now. You've been doing this for a while, so congrats to you, brother. That's awesome. And I'm more curious in terms of like if you mainly vape flavorless, what it's like when you really sort of like vape flavorless for weeks, almost like a tolerance break, like when you smoke weed and you have to take a break for like 6 months, and then that next time you smoke weed, you get super fucked up. I'm kind of curious if like the next time you vape like a strong flavor, you're just, you know, you see colors and shit, or you hear colors. All right, my volume is messed up. Hopefully that's not on my end. Hopefully everything's good. All right, so let's see if there's any other questions, and then we can get into our mix here. Get into our mix, which I'm excited for because that recipe was really good yesterday, or last week rather. The group keeps growing. We're nearing 20k members. Let's keep that group growing. Let's keep that group growing. No way. Look at this. Let's show this one. Feel free to keep posting your recipes and your hand checks. I love seeing that stuff. This comment. Here's another one. And then okay, that's good enough. That's good enough. All right, let's check out some of these comments here. Was rummaging through my 5-year-old flavoring set to see what could possibly keep, and what to look at what I found. Holy vanilla. So this is kind of what happened to me last week. Is I was rummaging around and I found the Holy RY4s, and that's why we started testing them. But check your old flavoring boxes. You might have some hidden treasures in there. And flavorings don't go bad. I mean, they don't spoil, rather. They really just lose their potency. So, you know, they could be, if they're stored properly, there's no nastiness on the inside or anything like that, they're good to go. They're good to go. Doesn't matter how old they are. You know, the worst thing that could possibly happen, other than like mold getting in there just because you had some moisture or something you didn't store properly, the only thing that can happen is that it just loses potency. Holy vanilla, very popular. I'm not the biggest fan of it anymore. It was popular at the time, kind of with these RY4s. It's just hasn't kept up with the times, in my opinion. Does anyone know where I can find a recipe for Sans Piton? I could have swore it was released before. Liquid Bar doesn't have the one shot anymore. I need this recipe for warm weather. No, it was not it was not released. Let me see if I can find. No, the recipe was not released. However, I believe we did a like a tweak of it that was released. And I'll see if I can find that. I don't remember exactly what that was, but if you need the recipe, feel free to message me. I can send you the recipe if you want the recipe. It's not public though. But if you want the recipe, just send me a message. I'll send it to you if you're a member. All right. Last one here. Silly question. For example, if single flavor's optimal percentage is 5%, does that mean when adding other flavors into the mix, I keep that at 5% or change it? Note, I'm mixing this for my Slim 08 pods, working with 50 salts. Down to 20-30, adding flavorings, getting close to disposable, so the overall percentage is much higher. No, they're all constant. So the percentages, when you look at a recipe, the percentages are essentially the ratio of flavoring added to, it's just the ratio of flavoring, right? So it doesn't matter if you scale it up or you scale it down, that ratio remains the same. For example, in this, you have your watermelon cotton candy at 3%. That means 3% of the flavoring that you're adding, which is the total flavoring is 7.5%, 3% of that will be watermelon cotton candy. So obviously you scale that up, you're going to be adding more watermelon cotton candy, but that ratio stays the same. That's all it is. It's just a ratio. It's just a percentage. So you keep it. Now, I will say, if you're doing stuff for pods, you do want to increase your flavoring ratio. You want to 7.5 is pretty low. And these aren't necessarily very strong flavorings. So you might want to consider really pumping those up to like watermelon cotton candy at like 8%, cotton candy jelly bean 5%, soft candy pink strawberry 5%. You know what I mean? Like really cranking those flavorings up. Because they just do better at higher percentages in pods. Much, much higher percentages. 20 would probably be the minimum, to be honest. It would probably be the minimum there. All right. And there's our weekly check-in with the Facebook group. Oh, what's going on, guys? What's up, Sammy boy? All right, let's do some, we gotta go back to these. I don't remember, I didn't label them, so I don't know which one was the better one, but we will quickly find out. Wait a second. That's not it. That's not it. It must be this one. Yeah, this one's it. No, I feel like this is not the good one. I feel like that's not the good one. So let's go to let's open the recipe up. Why are you doing this? All right. Some ratings on it already. Let's see what these people have said. Very good. FA yogurt would add that sour cheesy tang. Great looking recipe, raspberry lemon work well. Yeah, that's actually a good point. Let's actually get that out. I think I have some. I think I do. I sure do. I don't remember exactly if this works well with TFA Greek yogurt. I'm trying to remember if I've ever added the two together. I'm gonna have to do it as much as I don't want to. Yeah, super sour yogurty. Yeah, we're gonna have to figure out how to work that in there. Shouldn't be too difficult. FA yogurt is really good. However, I don't want to also. We're gonna have to work that in there because the right now the recipe is a little on the sweeter side. Here's the notes here. Maybe leaning towards candy a bit too much. The yogurt is creamy and luxurious, however, not sour enough, so we need that tanginess. That tanginess is going to kind of play off the lemon. It's going to create a really nice contrast. Could use a bit more milky sour taste, slightly on the sweeter side. So, again, my main sort of takeaway from last week's episode was it was just a little too candied. I wanted a little bit more natural. I really want this flavor to be sort of complex and natural tasting, and not so much on the artificial candied side. But let's vape this up. I think I do have sweet yogurt. Do they not sell it anymore? Yeah, I do have the sweet yogurt. That has a very specific flavor to it that I can't quite put my finger on. What is that flavor? You know what it is? It's brie cheese. This is like a very much like, it's very brie cheesy. It's very brie cheesy. So yeah, this could possibly work too. Oh, tasting those things raw is rough, dude. You really gotta be fucked in the head to do something like that. So I think the lemon sour type has gotta go. See, this works nicely. It does taste nicely on the after, like that sort of like lingering flavor that I got from raw dogging those fucking yogurts. It tastes really good once you kind of add it to this. But this is still just like way too sweet and too artificial. I think that was the bad batch anyway, but nonetheless, we're going to have to kind of reconfigure things. Now, I do really like the raspberry in this, so we're going to kind of keep that in the same ballpark. We're going to use all the flavors. We use all the flavors here. So this is Raz Lemon Yogurt V2. This is a version 2, which is not a 1.2, because this will be quite different from the other version. All right, so what was our raspberry base here? It was Premium Raz at 1, Raz Malina at a half, and Shisha Raz at a half. I'm going to keep that there. So Premium Raz, 1%. Shisha Raz, which is quite good, at a 0.5%. And then Malina, maybe not. I guess we'll just call it raspberry. Newer raspberry at a 0.5%. You might be like, well, that's not enough raspberry. It is. These raspberries are quite potent. These are quite potent. FA raspberry is good, yeah. Yeah, it certainly is good. If you don't have Shisha Raz, you could probably sub that for FA Raz, or any of the other Razes you can sub around. To me, the Premium Raz is just a little bit kind of where I like the Raz. All right, then we have Lemon Sicily. We can't sub that out at all. I'll put this here. It's just perfect. Truly perfect. What do we have it at? 1%? 2%. 1.5%. We're going to crank that up. We're going to go to 2%. Now, I need the lemon to be I want the lemon to be more natural instead of sweet. So we're going to drop the sour type. We're going to swap it out for something else. Possibly Effie lemon. Okay, not Effie lemon because I don't have it anymore. Capella has a lemon drop. Yeah, I should take a look at the SSA lemons. That lemon drop could possibly work. I also took out bergamot, which is not quite lemon, but could be interesting. It could be interesting in this recipe. Like when you pair it with the lemon Sicily, which I also have Capella's lemon Sicily. Which one do I like better? Probably Flavor Arts still. Yeah. The bergamot might be a little too much. Here's zesty lemon. Let's try the zesty lemon. That seems, it's like kind of like a little lemon rind in there. That seems like it could be nice though. Let's try it at 1%. Let's try that. Now our yogurt base. I'm afraid if I go Greek yogurt and FA yogurt, it might be too much. But maybe that's a kind of a good thing. So maybe the snow cream might help. I was thinking about FE lemon. I actually don't have anymore. I'm all out of it. We must have used it recently. Snow cream? Creamy yogurt? Possibly we do Capella's creamy yogurt as the base. Because this doesn't have much Greekiness to it. Not as sour, but it's got some of that in there. And then we just add like a touch of Flavor Arts yogurt. I think we should try that. 3% of creamy yogurt. And like a 0.5% of Flavor Art yogurt. And I think that's it. Let's give this a go. Oh, is that enough yogurt? It should be enough. It should be enough. Let's try it. I kind of forget how to do this. No, so we have to do it like this, I guess. All right, let's give it a mix. Ooh, I kind of like blew my palate out a bit. Raw dogging that shit. Chem Nevadic lemon. Yeah, someone else said natural lemon too. Oh, that was you. Not so much the super sweet. Even though I probably could tone that down, but more so like that artificial candy sweetness. Like it just seems like the flavorings themselves were a touch too sweet. Let's give this a mix. I mean, the last week's recipe is pretty damn good. We're not far off. We just need to make it taste more authentic, more real. It's just a little bit too commercial, a little bit too. It doesn't feel craft. You know what I mean? I'm in Sicily. Where are you? 2% of this. What we really want is the contrast between the yogurt and the lemon with that nice undertone of raspberry there. That would be ideal. And we want nice natural flavors to really kind of give it that authentic vibe. And then we can add accents once we kind of land this near where we need it to go. Then we can start adding some accents and doing some funky shit with it to really kind of make it unique. We're starting at 0.5% of yogurt. We'll see if we need to add more. Here's the zesty lemon. 1% of this. I need to buy a new scale. Did I add the creamy yogurt? I think I did. Okay. Where's the oh. Additive? Can we get a quick 2-3 ingredient recipe after this one? You're always making mad complicated mixes. All right, how about next recipe that we do? Because this one we're gonna try to finish this, but the next recipe we'll do, I'll do that for you. We'll do a quick little guy. I know I'm always doing dumb shit. You're right. I should be trying to do some more simple stuff. But you'll see once you kind of get all the ingredients in. You'll be right there with us. You'll be right there with us. Let's give this a go. Let's give this bad boy a go. What are you doing, Penelope? My daughter's up there talking. What are you doing, P? Can you make me some? You had to delete all his vape videos reviews because of strikes. Yeah, I mean, I was in kind of in a similar position recently. I didn't have to delete anything, luckily. Sure. All right, let's taste this. Ooh, we're now in much more natural territory. This is nice. Yeah, that lemon sour is really good for if you want like lemon candy. But outside of that, it really does just sweeten everything up. Like it sweetens not just the lemons, but the raspberries too. Just makes everything taste like a candy, which is kind of cool. Anytime you're making a candy recipe, just throw a little bit of lemon drop in there. The yogurt is still not quite where we need it to be. So let's turn this down. I feel like it's too hot. I have a load of TFA on standby. Nice. Good choice. I mean, if you give me a list of your favorite flavorings, I'll see if I can just tell you a recipe that you can mix up. So the yogurt is close. It's a little bit on like, the yogurt feels like warm for some reason, which we don't want. Maybe the snow cream will help that? For some reason, yogurt's like warm. It's like a warm yogurt. So it comes through almost. It's not creamy in the way that I kind of want it to be. I'm wondering if the lemon is also a little bit too high, just overall. That aftertaste is really nice. That lingering sort of like ras lemon flavor is really good. Maybe we go sweet yogurt instead. How do I do a batch? I don't quite understand how to do this. Batches can only be published when the associated recipe is published. Items marked with star are assumed to dissolve in the rest of the solution. What is this more precision? Ooh, look at that. You can get real finely tune your stuff. I like that option. I like that option a lot. That's pretty cool. Let's see. What does create a batch do? This is the batch. What is remix batch? I'm not quite sure. Anywho. This would be V3. Nah, maybe V2.1. Let's try V3. So, instead of the creamy yogurt, let's do SSA sweet yogurt. I'm like very curious about this snow cream in here. Some ice? I can't work at the normal recipe. Yeah, the lemon will kind of subside. That's true. I'm gonna go 1% FA. I'm dying to also add in some bergamot. I feel like bergamot in here will be really cool. It's a little too floral, but something in that realm. It's a little too floral. This is tricky. Alright, let's try to see if I can really get some feedback here. Yeah, the bergamot, it's like a little too floral. I just don't think it's gonna play well with the raspberry with that much florality. Something zesty. Maybe I swap the lemon Sicily and the zesty lemon. Swap that around a bit. I feel like it needs a bit more cream too, like a bit more thickness on the finish. Do we just go fresh cream actually? Like a 0.5% of fresh cream. Yeah, and let's drop the super sweet. Let's actually drop this to 0.25%. 1 drop per 10 ml. Let's see how this one goes. Let's see how this one goes. Try this out, and if this is not where we need it, we'll fuck around a little bit more. One of the things that's fun to do with we're trying to hone in on a recipe is to if you're not kind of getting where you're like, if you're close but you're not encroaching to where you really want to be, you just kind of keep going around on the edges, just kind of fucking the recipe up sometimes is helpful. Just going a little crazy just kind of gives you a little bit better of a understanding of how the flavors are interacting with each other. Lemon Sicily at 1. And then zesty at 2. Well, let's do this in order here. Premium Raz at 1. You are so chatty up there. Shisha Raz. Sweet yogurt. This is at 2.5. FA yogurt at 1. Zesty lemon at 2. It smells good. It smells much more yogurty. Much yoga tea. Have you tried Flavorless Orange Citrus? I don't know. Any tips for a new mixer? Just keep mixing. Just keep messing around and keep playing. The only reason why another mixer might make better recipes than you is just because they mix more than you. That's really the only reason. They know their flavorings a little bit more than you. But no one can tell you how good. You know, you're your own judge, right? So you have to be very critical of how you make your recipes. It just makes you better. Can you hear my daughter? Much yogurt. Much yogurt. Much yogurt. Interesting. Okay, let's try this. Ooh, very interesting. That's like, now we're somewhere. Now we're somewhere. So much more yogurt presence. The yogurt is like, actually feels and tastes like yogurt. Yeah. It actually feels and tastes like yogurt. Now we need to kind of, I feel like get out of here, boy. Okay, now we're somewhere. Orange citrus, huh? I feel like that orange is a little bit too much there. I need a bite of this. I'm starving. Let's reset our palates. Be right back. I know my girl. Yes, I know. I understand. Yeah, I can see why, because it kind of has like a bergamot-y vibe to it, but it's not as floral. You know what I mean? It's just not as floral. This is good. Alright. The yogurt is really good. I don't know if I'm sold on the fresh cream. I feel like we can pop that. Maybe we do a custard, actually. Maybe custard would actually fit nicely there. What do I got here? Missing some vital components today. I'm a little bit afraid of a whipped cream. I'm a little afraid of a whipped cream. Isn't that crazy? I'm scared of it. It's really, I mean, it's close, guys. It's pretty fucking close. It's so natural. It's like a Yoplait fruit on the bottom kind of experience. It's a really good yogurt base. It's a little fluffy. It's the only thing about the yogurt is like it's a little fluffy, and I'd much rather it be a little bit more silky and milky. It's kind of the problem we had last week. But man, that top note of the yogurt is just, it's right there. That's close. All right, I think the only way we're going to have to kind of get out of this situation, we're going to save that. Let's make another. Just make a new recipe. V4. I do feel like the Raz is a little bit sort of held back in this one. But does it need to be that present, you know? I mean, how much orange zest, orange citrus should we add? Because you're right, I can see this working in here. I can see it working. I'm just afraid that orange might take up too much attention. Premium Raz is at 1. Let's go 1.5 here, yeah. Shisha Raspberry, we have at 1/2. Actually, what if we do that at 1% and then the Premium Raz at 1.25? We just keep the Innerwear Raspberry the same. He does want my lunch. He's such a beggar for food. It's unbelievable. This is what he does. Like, he knows not to do that. He's like an old man now. He just does whatever the hell he wants. But this is what he does. He goes, if like we're with a bunch of people, he knows to go to like the weakest person in the group. And he'll go up to them and like he'll sniff the food. And then he'll look at them and he'll go, like, you know you want to give me something, bro. He's such a little freaking sneak. Sweet yogurt at 2.5. FA yogurt. Where did I do this at? 1%? I did. I did. I went crazy, guys. We're not going to do fresh cream. We're going to try something else here. Should I just try? I might just try the snow cream. It seems like it would work in a yogurt, like in this type of yogurt. What's it called? Snow cream. I don't really know what a snow cream is. Let's just try it. That might be too high. Just go 0.5%. Should we try that one? We can't leave out lemon Sicily's just the best lemon. What did I have it here? 1%? Zesty lemon at 2%. And a touch of orange citrus. I'm not sure about the orange citrus. Let's just try it. Let's just try it. 0.25% can't hurt. Am I crazy for wanting to add hibiscus? A little touch of hibiscus in there. Let's really go crazy with this fucking thing. See, with the orange citrus, the hibiscus might end up being floral. You know? I have natural lemon too. Maybe we try natural lemon instead of the orange citrus. At like 1/2. I feel like we're gonna need to bump these up too. Bump this up to 1 1/4. Let's drop this to 1. Let's go back. Let's go back to this scenario. See, it's a little lemonade-y. That's the thing. Well, at 0.5% should be okay. All right, let's try this. It's not much. Essentially, what I'm trying to do is balance out the lemon and raz a little bit more. Make them kind of stand out a little bit more. And kind of silky up that yogurt. I mean, that one's already so close. It's tough. It's tough to kind of go from here. So we're just going to have to kind of go a bit crazy. And kind of see where things head. You know? Alright, let's try it. Yeah. I mean, is it strong to the point where I should keep the lemon Sicily at 1%? Let's just keep it low. We're going to keep that at 1%. Let's try this. You're not wrong. It is strong. Might be too strong. This is already a very delicate recipe. Now you have me second guessing. Now you have me second guessing. Because you're right. It's gonna kind of compete too much, I think, with everything else. Alright, we'll scratch that idea. Thank you for the... Oh boy. Oh, that's it. It's over. It's ended. The episode is ended. The episode's over. We lost. Where is this fucking thing? Alright. Yeah, you're right. You're right. When you're right, you're right. Alright, you really want me to let's just try it. You're right. Let's just try it. I can see it kind of working. I'm just afraid the orange is going to be a bit too overpowering. You're saying 1/4%? I'm going to actually do this at 1, and this will be 1.5. Instead of 1 and 2. Shisha Raz is up. Premium Raz is up. Alright, let's try this. Let's give it a go. Oh no. My scale died as I was dripping. It died, it was on 0.06. Orange citrus. Just a touch of this bad boy. Snow cream. What is it? Couldn't tell you. But I think it might work. Zesty lemon. It's at 1.5. That's it. I brought out some mint also. Wondering how well mint would do as like an accent. I don't know. That might be too much. Might be a little too wacky. broke. What the fuck? There we go. Let's give this a go. Let's go back to this real quick. Yogurt is like truly something else. And the more I vape that one, the more I'm like, it's not. It's like there. It's like what I want, but I at the same time I also kind of don't like it. It's just not really grabbing me the way that I want it to. My goals are kind of undefined here, which I think is the problem. I do like this one more. I do like this one a lot more. That orange zest is working, however, that orange is coming through a little bit too much. Not to say that that's a bad thing. But it does kind of change the profile a bit. It just pulls away from the Raz a little too much. All right, I think I got it. Let's do one last batch. I think I got it. I think the orange citrus just pulls things away a little too much. I'm gonna do it in this. Let's keep this in there. I think I got it. Let's do another recipe. Let's see where we're at with this one. Oh. What do we have that at? 2? 2.5. This I had a half. I'm gonna bring this up to 1. Premium Raz we had at 1.25. I'm gonna bring that up to 1.5. We're gonna bring this to 1.25. So this stays at a half. So we had a 1. And then we had zesty lemon. 2. And I think that's it. I don't think we need to complicate that any further. Yeah. Let's just kind of merge the two. All right. Last one. Let's see where we're at. I think this one's the money shot. Let's make 15 mils of it. 15. This should really give us a good understanding. Shisha Raz, which is where? Snow cream. I do think it works. I think the snow cream works. You see in a bigger batch after we blend it down. Ooh, that sweet yogurt is funky as hell, dude. It is funky. It's got the funk. Zesty lemon. Zesty lemon coming in clutch, I will say. It's zesty. That's it. And it's super sweet. Just 2 drops. Okay. that is a funky smelling mix. It just smells not good. It does not smell good whatsoever. Beautiful. Let's blend her down. Let's put her on the blender. Beautiful. Beautiful. Let's whip her down. I'm not going to add any heat. Just want to blend her up. No heat on this one. This is the process of recipe development. It's just trying this, trying that, trying this, trying that. Honestly, the main thing you need to know, the main thing you got to get good at is identifying what's wrong with the batch. You just get better at that the more you mix. A lot of the time, you'll vape something, you'll be like, I don't like it, but I don't know why. Something about it I don't like. That's like, you don't want to be in that area ever. If there's something wrong with the recipe, you gotta figure out why, so you know how to fix it. And it's the only way you get better at that is just getting more and more reps in, and just knowing your flavors better. That's it. Oh, there's a weird off note here, and that's why I don't like this recipe. It's messing up my enjoyment of the recipe. Well, why is that off note happening? What compounds are giving you that off note? You might not know until one day you mix those compounds by themselves, you test it, and you're like, oh, that's why. These two things together makes a flavor that I don't like. Or is maybe not you don't like it, it's just not fitting to the recipe that you have. Cooker. Let's get this bitch spinning. Now it smells good. Now it has a nice aroma. Let's raw dog it. What is taste? I'm very happy with that. I'm very, very happy with that. I gotta say, the snow cream really does work with that yogurt. Like, it just adds that extra layer of silkiness and milkiness, but it doesn't fuck the top note up at all. You keep that yogurty, cheesy top note. That's really the secret weapon in this recipe. Kate uses a... what is it called? The, Pure Max. That's what she uses. She doesn't really vape anymore, though. Once she got pregnant, she stopped vaping, and then she just hasn't really vaped. So she's kind of I think she vaped the other day recently. She just wanted to try it again, and she didn't really like it. So she might be done. But who knows? She might have a vape every now and then. You know how some people, you know, they smoke a cigarette every now and then? Well, some people have a vape every now and then. I love this recipe. It's very natural feeling, but it's vapable at the same time. Sometimes when flavors are too natural, you don't really want to vape them. They're like too intricate or like too... They're fun to vape at first, but to keep vaping them, it's like too much, right? This doesn't have that. This is natural, but it's still vapable. And I'm attributing that to actually the lemon Sicily. Lemon Sicily is just such a great flavor, and it really just makes things so vapable. It's really nice. This is a really nice blend. Let's put our notes in because it's not perfect. I don't think this is something that I can consider done. Unfortunately, I would say that this still needs. Let's figure it out what it needs. Let's go into our notes. What's today? The 28th. Delish. The Flavora snow cream. Well, actually, let's do our. A bright natural lemon mixed with raspberry. I guess mixed with fresh raspberry on a yogurt base. On a Greek yogurt base, I should say, because it is slightly cheesy. I shouldn't say natural, more like zesty. A bright, zesty lemon mixed with fresh raspberry on a Greek yogurt base. That's pretty much what it is. Okay. Let's add our notes here. Oop. What the? Snow cream does an amazing job at giving the yogurt much needed silky creaminess. No, not creaminess, milkiness. Milkiness. Is that a word? Milkiness. Without encroaching on the yogurt top note. This gives the yogurt a natural Greek-like this gives the yogurt a slightly sour and natural Greek-like feel. The raspberry sits within the recipe where the sweet, well, I should say sweet because it's not super sweet. I guess slightly sweet. Slightly sweet, zesty lemon sits on the front. The balance between the raspberry and lemon is nearly 50-50. I would say slightly leaning lemon.
just because the lemon itself is more energetic and it just comes to you quicker rather than the raspberries kind of sitting on the more like after the lemon. The lemon slightly taking more attention. It's really good, guys. It's really good. Oh man, what do I need from it? What's up, Neil? Yeah, get that stirrer out. It's super fun to use. I would like a bit more clarity and separation between the raspberry, lemon, and yogurt. I should just say overall. Things seem to blend down a bit too much. That's basically my main issue. I want a little bit more clarity within the recipe. I'm really curious how this is going to steep. Overall, very close. No, actually. Also, I want to add some type of third accent in the mix. I think it just needs like a little of something else in here to kind of make it a little bit more unique. It's already kind of unique. It's already in a sort of in a realm of its own. However, at the end of the day, the pairing is still ras lemon, so I would like something else. Possibly hibiscus or something like a bergamot. Maybe just like maybe like some slightly vegetal floral flavor. I think hibiscus might end up blending it even more than what it needs to be. And that's it. That's really it. Very good so far. Very good so far. Let's do this. All right, that recipe's up. Let's go post this on ELR also. So here's all the flavors link. You guys want to try this out? I do recommend it. It is really nice. I'm gonna post this on ELR as well. Since this will eventually be a full release. Oh man, if we could just figure out getting a bit more clarity in here would just be ideal. It would be so nice. So nice.
Wait, I'm doing this. Hold on. It says FA yogurt, old and new. I don't know. I don't know the difference. I don't remember which one I have. I think I have the old one. I could be wrong though. I could be wrong though. Was reformulated in 2016, so I guess it's the new one then, because this is a newer batch. This isn't from that long ago. So new. That's the new one then. Let's go back. Thank you for the information. Oh, this one. You change that to new. It still tastes like there's diacetyl in it, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's butyric acid or something. All right, here's the ELR link. And boom. I don't think I would say this is finished. I think it needs a touch more work. It really just needs to figure out how to get some better clarity from the recipe. I also don't want to say something's finished until it steeps and we know kind of how the flavor kind of blends down. Overall, it's a very, very fun little recipe. Nice fruit cream recipe that's like refreshing and light. I think a lot of people will like that. The V4 is definitely the better one of the two. I mean, by miles, I think. And yeah, so I think we're gonna move on. Next week we'll do we'll do some new stuff. But in the behind the scenes, I am gonna try to work on this and actually release this recipe. Is like, this is it. This is done. This is how it's steeped. This is how it tastes. This is it. This is good. We'll give it a fun little name. Nice little pictures and stuff like that. And just make it look nice and do a nice little release, okay? Because we haven't done one in a while, so I think I owe you guys a nice, finished, completed, delicious recipe. It's really good. I mean, yeah, it feels good to make something it feels good to make something like, you know, where you're like, yes, we really, I was able to kind of portray what I was thinking in my head and get it out there and do it successfully. Yeah, I love yogurt recipes too. The yogurt really just does play well. It's so weird vaping a yogurt, but it really just does play well in like these certain environments where you get contrast, you get creaminess, you get juiciness and exciting sort of flavors. That really, you can do a lot with a yogurt. It's a really fun profile to play around with. Like, you can go milkshake with this by just changing a couple things, you know what I mean? You don't have to go too crazy, and then you have milkshake, or you go ice cream. You know, there's so many different ways you can take it. But I do think, in terms of, like, yogurt, when you pair it with the lemon and you get that zesty lemon paired with that soury yogurt, it just creates such a fun contrast. Very Moorish. You want to just keep vaping it because it's just such a fun flavor to vape. All right, good episode, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. This was a good episode. We got a banger of a recipe. I'll keep you guys updated on this recipe when I complete it, I guess. However you want to say what it is, but this is definitely good enough where I can recommend you try mixing it up. And if you like these type of flavors, give this one a go. I think you'll really enjoy it. And let me know your thoughts if you do mix it up. Oops. And yeah, next week we'll start on a new challenge. We'll try to get something else. Let's keep it with the spring theme. I do like these spring-like flavors. You know, especially someone that vapes RY4 all the time. It's nice to get some like nice, refreshing, fun, energetic recipes. So we'll keep in that realm for the meantime until we get to the summer, and then we'll start doing some fun summer mixes. You know, I add a lot more ices and watermelons and shit like that. But yeah, guys, thanks for tuning in. Keep mixing. Much love. Peace.